A century ago, humanity faced an unexpected onslaught of monsters known as titans, which devoured much of civilization. The survivors constructed 3 massive concentric walls to create a sanctuary where humanity could rebuild and live in safety. Fast forward to the year 858, and Armin toils in his family's shop within the impoverished district. He receives word that his friend Aaron has lost yet another job. Armin decides to visit Aaron, and in his haste, he accidentally collides with a young boy clutching a broken squealing device Armin had crafted. He promises to repair it promptly. Later, Armin teams up with Mikasa in search of Aaron, only to discover him perched on a fragment of an old missile. While Armin deems it perilous, Aaron contemplates detonating it, irrespective of its functionality. Mikasa reproaches Aaron for his recurring job losses, prompting Aaron to query whether they are truly content with their present lives. Armin admits a longing to construct more gadgets, a pursuit currently prohibited. Mikasa grapples with her response. Aaron reminds them that the interior walls shelter the affluent, provoking contemplation of relocation or exploration beyond the walls. Aaron kicks the missile, unearthing a drawing of the ocean, a sight they've never witnessed. Mikasa dreams of beholding the ocean, compelling Aaron to lead them to the base of the wall, evading outpost sentries. The trio stands in reverential awe of the wall, a proximity Mikasa has never experienced. As the breeze chills her, Aaron bestows his scarf. Mikasa confesses she isn't yet prepared to leave the walls. Armin interjects, reminding them of the Titan-infested exterior. Aaron, however, harbors skepticism about the existence of Titans, as they haven't been spotted in a century. Aaron gears up to scale the wall, but the guards intercept them. When Mikasa is seized, Aaron erupts in fury, prompting a skirmish that is halted by Captain Suda, who is acquainted with Aaron. Suda discloses the military's establishment of a new unit tasked with venturing beyond the walls. He extends an invitation to Aaron to join this group, igniting Aaron's fervor to reclaim the land outside. Their conversation is interrupted by a violent tremor and the resonant roar of a colossal titan looming by the wall. Suda and the youths are dumbfounded by the titan's towering stature, and they make a frantic escape. The colossal titan employs powerful kicks, breaching the wall's defenses. Debris cascades, prompting Suda to mobilize his men and prepare the cannons. Concurrently, regular-sized titans converge, streaming through the breach. Despite the guards' relentless barrage, the titan's injuries mend with astonishing celerity. Without any deterrence, the titans launch a gruesome assault on the soldiers, prompting one of the guards to take his own life to escape the horrors of being devoured. In the frantic retreat to the town, the titans follow, reducing buildings to rubble and consuming the terrified citizens, including Armin's father. Panic grips the populace, leading to a stampede, where self-preservation overrides concern for those left behind. Aaron and Mikasa are swept along by the chaotic current. Just as they approach a safe house, Mikasa spots a woman struggling with an immobile baby. Aaron, in an act of valor, tries to help, inadvertently dragging the mother with the crowd. Unbeknownst to him, she drops the baby, prompting Mikasa to rush back to rescue the child. The surging crowd tramples over Mikasa, and Aaron is thrust into the safety of the house as the doors slam shut. Despite his desperate attempts, the other citizens refuse to let him reopen the door. Through the window, Aaron glimpses Mikasa on the ground with the baby, but their reunion is cut short by the arrival of a titan, causing a colossal blast that sends everyone within the house sprawling. By the time Aaron regains his footing and peers outside, Mikasa, the baby, and the titan have vanished. A gut-wrenching scream pierces the air, leading Aaron to discover that the titans are tearing the house apart and devouring its occupants. Overwhelmed with terror, Aaron flees. 2 years later, the agricultural zone has been forsaken, resulting in a severe food shortage. Aaron is now a member of the Scout Regiment. Director Cubble briefs the team on their mission, restoring the outer wall to reclaim the farmlands. The enigmatic ODMG, or Omnidirectional Mobility Gear, is introduced by Weapons Squad leader Hans. This gear, affixed to the waist, grants astounding maneuverability in 3 dimensions through gas-powered propulsion and grappling hooks. Unfortunately, Hans's demonstration inadvertently sends anchors into the crowd, leading to an awkward moment. Following the meeting, the group heads to Omotomachi to rendezvous with another team led by Captain Shikishima. As the scouts bid farewell to their families, the heart-wrenching scene is particularly poignant for the children left behind. Aaron attempts to console a weeping Armin, who laments their lack of loved ones, bidding them goodbye. In a touching gesture, a scout's younger sibling gifts Armin a small doll, providing him with a cherished farewell memory. At a meal gathering, Armin endeavors to elucidate the plan to repair the wall and apprehend the titans using mashed potatoes. However, Sasha, driven by her insatiable appetite, is more interested in devouring the culinary example. Armin acknowledges that previous previous restoration missions have faltered, and with humanity's dwindling explosives stored in Omotomachi, failure might spell the end for them. Suddenly, Gene voices his grievances about the group, alleging that Armin's nerves might jeopardize the mission, and that Sasha's expertise lies solely in eating. He contends that the newcomers' lack of commitment to the army stems from their inability to secure other employment. This somber discussion unsettles Lil, prompting her boyfriend Fukushi to console her, a display that Gene deems excessively sentimental. Armin accuses Gene of harboring a fear of Titans, but Gene rebuts with a vow that Titans hold no terror for him, even threatening Armin. Eren interjects with a whimsical question about Titan anatomy, highlighting Gene's lack of first-hand experience. In a heated exchange, Eren asserts that Gene's bravado is a facade, as he hails from a privileged background and has never encountered a Titan. Gene, seething with rage, attempts to strike Eren, but Hans intervenes, emphasizing that Titans lack nipples or reproductive organs. Intriguingly, the reproduction of Titans remains a mystery. Hans openly admits her curiosity about dissecting a Titan to unravel their secrets, but they disintegrate upon death, leaving no body for study. As the conversation shifts, Gene taunts Eren for supposedly abandoning Mikasa to the Titan onslaught. This sparks a scuffle, prompting Sanagi to swiftly intervene and separate the combatants. As the scouts prepare to depart, Hans imparts crucial knowledge. Titans sleep at night and are visually impaired in darkness. However, they remain highly sensitive to sound, necessitating utmost silence on the far side of the wall. The convoy of army trucks traverses the gate in the wall, journeying across the desolate terrain for hours. Suddenly, the vehicles halt, detecting movement in the vicinity. Upon investigation, the scouts find it's merely a group of cows, leading them to ponder whether Titans solely prey on humans, sparing animals. Determined to press on, the group is startled when Hyanna claims to hear a baby crying. She ventures forth, and Eren, concerned for her safety, follows. Entering the ruins of a building, they are startled by a strange sensation on their heads. Looking up, they find themselves beneath a crying baby Titan, its drool showering down. The infant Titan attempts to attack, but when the teens evade its grasp, it topples to the ground, throwing a raucous tantrum. This outburst rouses the nearby Titans, who lurch toward the scouts, inciting panic. Amid the chaos, a Titan seizes one of the captains, prompting Kubble and other higher-ranking soldiers to flee in their vehicles, leaving the scouts to fend for themselves. The scouts contemplate employing their ODMGs, but the buildings in this area aren't tall enough to be advantageous. Armin stumbles and falls, just as a Titan reaches out for him. Sanagi intervenes, seizing the Titan's arm and hurling it away from the group. After a protracted sprint, the scouts finally reach Omotomachi, only to encounter a Titan obstructing their path. Gazing up at the colossal creature, Eren strains to recall Han's instructions on targeting the Titan's sole vulnerable point, the nape of its neck. Suddenly, another scout appears and promptly dispatches the Titan, employing the techniques elucidated by Hans. This skilled figure is none other than the legendary Captain Shikishima. The scouts watch in awe as he displays his extraordinary prowess, though their attention is quickly diverted by another approaching Titan. This Titan, too, is swiftly vanquished by a newcomer, who reveals herself to be Mikasa. Eren and Armin are left dumbfounded, but before they can utter a word, Mikasa departs with Shikishima. Moments later, the entire group reunites at the camp, where Shikishima presents Kubble with the safeguarded explosives. Wounded scouts receive medical attention, while the able-bodied soldiers are tasked with loading the explosives into the trucks. Gene, however, pursues Eren with the intent to strike him for inciting the Titan frenzy the previous night. In response, Eren claims that Gene soiled his pants upon encountering his first Titan, provoking another skirmish. After a barrage of blows, Eren delivers a knee to Gene's face, rendering him unconscious. Eren believes himself victorious, but Mikasa suddenly materializes behind him, urging everyone to hush. Armin inquires about her well-being, but Mikasa departs without a word. Subsequently, Shikishima arrives, lauding Eren's combat skills. Upon learning Eren's name, he ushers him into another room, where Shikishima reveals that he was the one who taught Mikasa how to effectively combat Titans. Eren expresses a fervent desire to acquire this skill, prompting Shikishima to inquire why. Eren's impassioned response conveys his deep-seated resentment for the Titans, who have ensnared humanity within the walls. This elicits laughter from Shikishima, who contends that true danger lies in safety. He likens humans within the walls to penned cattle, cowering in fear of an unseen threat. Eren vehemently rejects this notion, asserting that he refuses to be cattle. To prove his resolve, Shikishima advises Eren to take flight, emphasizing that relinquishing security is the sole path to progress. Meanwhile, Armin examines the gadget he had promised to fix for his friend, somberly informing Sasha Sasha that the child passed away. He mourns his inability to soar, having heard tales of machines in the old world that facilitated flight. Kuble overhears this exchange, reminding Armin that technological strides ultimately led to environmental devastation, resource depletion, and warfare, thus warranting their prohibition. As Suda tends to Jean's injuries, he observes that Eren has always possessed a penchant for combat. Tsunagi presses Jean to elucidate his vehement animosity toward Eren, to which Jean reveals that Eren perpetually bears the weight of the world's sorrows on his shoulders. Tsunagi posits that Eren lost his girlfriend several years ago, prompting Suda to disclose that the girl in question was Mikasa, a revelation that startles both Eren and Tsunagi. Returning to Eren, he discovers Mikasa at an old piano, and attempts to express his relief at her survival. Mikasa, however, receives this sentiment coldly, divulging that the baby she sought to rescue met a tragic end at the hands of the Titan, much like herself. In a stark moment of vulnerability, Mikasa bears her scarred torso to Eren, a grim testament to the brutality of their world. She confesses her singular focus on Titan annihilation. Their intimate exchange is abruptly disrupted by the arrival of Shikishima, who shares an apple with Mikasa in a manner that leaves Eren unsettled. Overwhelmed by a surge of emotions, Eren flees outside, where he unleashes a primal scream of frustration. Hyanna intervenes, cautioning Eren against attracting more Titans. Taking him to a secluded spot, Hyanna inadvertently exposes Fukushi and Lil engaged in an intimate moment. In a candid conversation, Hyanna reveals that she has a daughter waiting for her back home, and she enlisted in the military in exchange for child support. However, the atmosphere grows uncomfortably intimate as Hyanna advances on Eren, propositioning him. Eren's alarm intensifies as he spots an eye peering through a hole in the wall. Without warning, the Titan smashes through the wall, seizing Hyanna to devour her, while Hans observes a group of approaching Titans and sounds the alarm. With a sense of urgency, Eren and the other scouts spring into action, seizing their ODMGs and ascending to the rooftops. Meanwhile, Shikishima and Mikasa engage the Titans, dispatching them with lethal precision. Tsunagi opts to remain on the ground, wielding his axe to incapacitate the Titans. Some of the newer recruits attempt to engage the Titans using the ODMGs, but tragically, their efforts end in their demise. As chaos ensues, Kuble issues a directive to protect the explosives at all costs, unaware that a mysterious masked figure is observing him. While Armin and Sasha navigate the treacherous terrain below, they stumble upon Lil, who clings to Fukushi's lifeless form. Suda arrives, informing Lil that Fukushi has succumbed to his injuries. He takes her away, leaving Armin and Sasha to forge their path out of this nightmare. Hans, meanwhile, notices that one of the trucks carrying explosives is being pilfered by the masked interloper. She hastily dispatches the scouts to retrieve it. Lil manages to mount the vehicle, igniting the explosives, and assumes control of the wheel. A fierce struggle ensues between Lil and the thief, culminating in Lil successfully ousting the assailant from the vehicle. She propels the truck toward the encroaching Titans, exacting her vengeance. The ensuing explosion claims a multitude of Titans, as well as Lil herself, depleting their remaining supply of explosives. On an adjacent rooftop, Eren, consumed by frustration, witnesses the remaining Titans relentlessly consuming the soldiers. Jean, who has sought refuge on the same rooftop, acknowledges that they are ensnared in a living nightmare and urges fleeing. However, Eren recalls Shikishima's words, vehemently declaring his refusal to exist in perpetual subjugation. He propels himself away with his ODMG, determined to confront the Titans head-on. Shikishima stands resolute on another rooftop, offering guidance to Eren, instructing him to soar without fear. Despite Eren's fervent resolve, his lack of experience proves a hindrance. He manages to dispatch one Titan, but his blades succumb to wear, and he inadvertently propels himself into another Titan's maw. A single bite severs Eren's leg, prompting the Titan to expel him. Realizing Eren's efforts are in vain, Shikishima departs. On the ground, the scouts observe Titans converging on the building where Jean had taken refuge, validating Eren's earlier suspicions. Armin conceives a plan to aid him. The scouts deploy flares and generate noise to divert the Titan's attention. When a Titan advances, Sasha blinds it with a barrage of arrows, while Tsunagi incapacitates it by targeting its legs. This distraction affords Jean the opportunity to finally escape, employing his ODMG to deliver the decisive blow to the Titan's neck. Meanwhile, Mikasa continues her relentless battle against the Titans, discovering Eren's unconscious form. Nevertheless, she resolves to press on with the fight, deeming it of greater significance. As the scouts regroup, group, Mikasa receives Aaron's severed arm from Armin, who recounts the harrowing events. Although deeply affected, Mikasa internalizes her anguish, resuming the battle to clear a path for the others. All eyes are riveted on her, rendering them oblivious to Aaron's arm, which begins emitting steam. Mikasa dispatches a succession of titans with staggering precision, but her gas supply is depleted, causing her to plummet to the ground. She lands near the titan that once consumed Aaron. In the throes of her memories, Mikasa steels herself for an ultimate stand, when suddenly, the titan writhes in agony. Astonishingly, two colossal hands emerge from its maw, heralding the emergence of a new enigmatic titan with vivid crimson eyes. This formidable entity roars before launching an onslaught against the surrounding titans. With uncanny proficiency, it decimates the oncoming horde. Tsunagi contemplates whether this titan is an ally, while Hans notes its advanced combat style as a sign of intelligence. Mikasa and Suda, too, recognize the familiarity in its fighting technique and come to a startling realization: the enigmatic titan is Eren. The other titans retreat in the face of this formidable adversary. The mysterious titan races toward the building where the team has assembled. As it collides with the structure, the team scrambles to safety. Mikasa, however, remains, allowing the colossal titan to scoop her up in its grasp. Locking eyes with Mikasa, the titan abruptly expels steam and lowers her back onto the rooftop before collapsing to the ground. The team rushes to its side, while Hans cautions that the titan will soon disintegrate. Suda expresses concern over Eren's potential assimilation and implores someone to sever the titan's neck without penetrating too deeply. Following his instructions, Mikasa takes the decisive action. To everyone's astonishment, Eren emerges from the wound, visibly in pain yet miraculously intact, with all his limbs restored. Hans ponders whether this phenomenon explains the titan's vulnerability at its neck. Suddenly, Eren's eyes open, revealing a startling transformation. They now burn a vivid shade of red.